What's up, everybody? My name is Amy, and this is the Ruby Pearl Glamper True Crime Podcast. It's a way that you're sitting on top of the world. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Ruby Pearl Glamper True Crime Podcast. My name is Amy. Welcome to my show. Hope everyone is having a wonderful evening. I unfortunately feel like hey, Stone Gator, I feel like I have been hit by a Mack truck. I had SI joint radio frequency done, which is burning the nerves. And hey, Steph V, how are you? I had that done yesterday, and when all that numbing medication and stuff wears off, I mean, it feels like you've been kicked by a mule. I got up and tried to walk around today, and I was just stiff as a board. But other than that, I'm doing all right. Hope y'all are having a wonderful evening. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the like button, and stick around. So, there's nothing really new in the news right now that, I've been reporting on. I want to do a video specifically dedicated to Aaron Carter. I'm just a little afraid to do it because I don't hide my mental illness. In fact, I have talked about my mental illness on this show. But it's just kind of hard to get completely raw with people, especially when you've got people out here on YouTube who are literally making fun of people with mental illness. And mental illness is nothing to joke around about. And I wish I could get Apple TV, because I just recently saw an interview with Selena Gomez, who has done a documentary that she's been working on for like 5 years, and discussing her mental illness and stuff. And that kind of thing affects everyone, because at the end of the day, we are all human, no matter if we're famous or a regular person, or whether we're tall, short, fat, skinny, black, white. Mental illness knows no boundaries. And It's becoming a real big topic now because there's so many of these deaths and killings and things that are happening that, it seems like mental illness is the root of, the whole issue. And it's just, we've got to stop, as Francis Bean Cobain said, we've got to stop making mental illness so taboo. And Selena Gomez actually said the same thing in that interview of her that I watched. So I watched Aaron grow up. My oldest daughter was a fan of Aaron's, as well as the Backstreet Boys. Took her to see both of them, both the Backstreet Boys and Aaron Carter. And I've watched the things that have been going on with Aaron these last few years, and it's just sad, to see such a talented young man, literally die in front of your eyes, a slow death. I mean, I predicted it. I I saw it coming a mile away. And when my daughter texted me and she said, "Oh my God, Mama, Aaron Carter's dead," I texted her back and I said, "Was it a SU? Did he take his own life or did he overdose?" I knew it had to be one of the two. So, you know, all, um, all this meanness and bullying and stuff that goes on online, and people are hiding behind computers, thinking that it doesn't hurt. Hey, Juju Bonds, how are you? These people hiding behind computers and thinking that saying terrible things to someone doesn't hurt. You know, um, Unfortunately, it does. Um, but I'll tell you one thing: mental illness is never an excuse to take someone else's life, though. I don't care who you are. I don't care what kind of mental illness you have. From the time we were born, we have been taught right from wrong. Literally, from the time we've been born, we've been taught what's right and what's wrong. And even the most, even two of the most mentally ill people, well, I say two, hell, there's more than that. Even the most mentally ill people whose cases that I've followed over the years, even they knew right from wrong. So, you know, even if you don't go to church, somewhere along the way, you have heard the 10 Commandments. Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not steal. Somebody's breaking a couple of the 10 Commandments, aren't they? Which brings me to my topic of conversation tonight. You know, to hell with Chief Hadley. I'm fixing to put a call in to Chief Martin Brody, aka Roy Scheider, Because just when you thought it was safe to go back on Buckhalter Road, Billie Jaws strikes again. And I honestly, beyond standing out in her front yard twerking naked, I don't know how much more disgusting she and this family can get. I don't know how much attention y'all paid to the thumbnail for this podcast, but I hope you looked at it because it's very telling. Who are the real voices for Quinton Simon? Is it strangers and YouTubers? Or is it the family and their supporters? True Crime with Sunshine. Hello, welcome. So who are the real voices for Quinton Simon? Let's break this down. When we first learned about the Quinton Simon case, he was a missing 21-month-old child. And a YouTube creator named Bullhorn Betty decided she was going to go to Savannah, Georgia as a journalist, as a YouTube creator, as a voice for missing kids, amongst other people, crime victims. And she was going to, see what happened to this missing child. No sooner than she got there, this missing child turned into a murdered child. And his mother was the prime suspect. So she, amongst some other YouTube creators, as well as local people there in Chatham County, Georgia, all started protesting the family. People from the public, along with Bullhorn Betty and Dolly and Olivia and people there in the public, complete strangers to Quinton Simon, began a memorial out on the lawn of his home in the public easement, not on the actual property, but the 2-foot public easement that is owned by the county. And everyone has a right to stand on. How many times did you see members of the family go out there and place a teddy bear or light a candle? No, they put up spotlights and disco balls. How many times have you seen them on TV begging and pleading for a kidnapper to bring that child back home? The only time I ever saw them on TV was to lie and try to cover their ass. So then their mouthpiece, who doesn't even live in this country nor have her own kids, decided to instigate trouble and advised the family to move the memorial to the backyard. After they had conned Bullhorn Betty and Dolly Vision, even though they were protesting against them, they ceased fire for a moment and helped the family move the memorial, and they put a nice, cover over it to protect it and everything, and all was well. But then their mouthpiece decides to advise them, take it and move it all to the backyard. So they stole a memorial for their son/grandson from the public and put it in their own backyard. Then, while Chief Hadley can't find any reason to arrest Billie Joe or Leilani Simon, even though Leilani is the one and only prime suspect in this case, in 2 days he manages to find some city ordinance BS that he decides to pull out of his ass and decide to enforce. Well, what happens? A city ordinance sign gets put up in their front yard. I have never seen a city ordinance be specifically put up in someone's yard. I have never in my life seen that. But these people managed to get it done. And what do? Between getting the protesters who are there as a voice for Quinton arrested, they managed to use the city ordinance to run the rest of them off, or they're just going to lock them up too. Now, the family gets what they want, finally. Peace and quiet. They ain't got no kids. They ain't got no protesters or hecklers or clowns or crazy people, pushing their dogs around in front of their house in a stroller to incite a riot, calling people derogatory names that I won't repeat. Now the family has put a big sign on their gate. Not for Quinton Simon, their son or grandson. Not for a kidnapper pleading with them, please bring Quinton home. No, we miss you, Quinton sign. They put a sign up advertising for their YouTube creator mouthpiece, who once again doesn't even live in this country, nor does she have her own kids. Who paid for that, I'm wondering? Like, you stole hundreds and hundreds of dollars worth of stuff with beautiful signs with your son/grandson's face on them, and justice for Quinton. You couldn't even hang a stolen sign on your fence for your son/grandson, but you could hang a sign up advertising for a crack whore. Yeah, you know what they say, birds of a feather flock together. I mean, even Don and Candace Wells didn't even have that much audacity. I mean, these people, I just don't know how more disgusting they can get. And I just don't know how much more blatant these people can be. That they don't give two shits about that baby. Monsters, not mothers. Exactly, Sunshine. Exactly. And one monster raised another monster. And to be honest with you, I still don't understand how Billie Joe's even walking the streets long before Quinton ever even went missing. This poor child never had a chance. I don't even know if Leilani ever had much of a chance either. Hell, her mama's crime record extends back to about as far as she is old. So, hell, the girl was practically born into a criminal enterprise. And yeah, she's got some mental illness. That's obvious. It's obvious she has no self-respect or self-morals, or don't seem like she's got too much empathy or sympathy. Bunch of fake crocodile tears and saving her own skin, blaming all everything she's done on everybody else. I noticed today that they were going to suspend the search for Quinton in the landfill on Thursday, take the weekend off again, I guess, and begin again searching Monday. Like, it's bad enough you waited 10 days. Yeah, lots of generational trauma there. I have no doubt in my mind. And it's like, you are a product of the environment that you were raised in. You know, Billie Joe's got kids by 3 different daddies. Leilani's got kids with 3 different daddies. Now, I'm not necessarily. Maybe I shouldn't even say anything because, I've got 2 children by 2 different fathers. But it's You're supposed to use the shit you've been through to raise your kids better than that. You're supposed to use your mistakes that you've made to try and teach your kids not to make those same mistakes. And have I been the perfect parent? No. I've had a very strenuous relationship with my oldest daughter. And, she's been through her own shit, but yet she's completely turned her life around. You know, I just, I just wonder what Chief Hadley thinks about this new sign. He probably don't think much of it at all because, he seems to side with them, even though he's really kind of the one that caused all this havoc. When you go in a matter of 1 day, 1 to 2 days, you go from a child is missing to a child is now deceased and believed to be in a landfill, and the mother is the prime suspect, and then you don't arrest her. Like, it's not just Black Lives Matter that is pissed off at the police. It is not just Black Lives Matter that doesn't trust the police or have any faith in the police. I was fortunate enough to live to live in the 80s, and when NWA first hit the scene, if you don't know who NWA is, we can't be friends. And when they came out with that song, Fuck the Police, and you listen to those lyrics of what they were dealing with in the late 80s, in Compton, in South Central Los Angeles, we heard that shit all the way in Podunk, Arkansas. A bunch of white kids who were being brutalized by the police, who were being stopped and frisked and questioned and railroaded and beat up by the police in a small town in central Arkansas. We were going through the exact same thing. But people of all races are tired of this crap. We're tired of corrupt police, and I'm not saying all police are corrupt, but hell, it's all I've ever known since I was a teenager is corrupt and crooked cops. and abusive power cops. And it's so I mean, and then I'm in the field of following true crime, and in the field of reporting true crime cases all over the world, and I see this same backdoor dealing, good old boys, corrupt police shit all over the place in other states. I see it everywhere. And I guess till my dying day, I will continue to call it out. I will continue to call it like I see it. The other day, after all that crap went down in Georgia, and they put that city ordinance sign up, and they, ran everybody off and whatnot. I was just, I've wanted to walk away from true crime so many times. I've wanted to walk away from speaking up and speaking out or fighting injustice and all that. I'm like, I just want to give up. Like it's, I feel like I'm fighting a losing battle. And I'll be damned, I'm standing there folding clothes and I'm watching my local news. And one of the suspects in the murder of my friends, Kevin Ives and Don Henry, who was an abusive cop back in those days, turned undercover narcotics officer, anyway, he now holds a very prestigious title here in Arkansas. I'll be damned if his bald-headed ass didn't come on the news. Along with his bestie, who is a sheriff, who is the sheriff of my hometown, whose uncle was also involved in the murders. And it just fueled my fire again. It's just like, nope, Amy, you can't give up. You can't give up. You can't stop speaking up. You may go to your grave never accomplishing anything, but by God, you went down without a fight. There's, I don't know if y'all have seen that movie Dangerous Minds with Michelle Pfeiffer, and they had the theme song Gangsta's Paradise by Coolio. But when she's teaching those kids poetry, there's one poem that she teaches, and I can't remember exactly how it goes, but you can't go silently into the night, and you have to rage against the dying of the light. And when I go to my grave, my head will be high. I think that's like a mixture of two of the poems that she was teaching those kids in that movie. But Yeah. When I go to my grave, my head will be high, raging against the dying of the light. Because, for a long time, I didn't know who I was. I didn't know what my purpose here on earth was. And I finally came to understand through a lot of spiritual study that I was a light worker. And that was my purpose in life, is to spread light. Even though a lot of times all people want to show me is dark, I still keep, trying to show people the light. And I've always said that I have more respect for someone that can admit to what they've done and admit their faults than I can someone that lies, cheats, steals, and refuses to acknowledge, what they've done. And, if Leilani would just acknowledge what she's done and tell us the truth, and Danny, whatever truth Danny knows, you know, just own up to it. And, I completely understand standing by your kids, but when you come out and openly admit that your daughter is nothing but a liar and that your daughter is a drug addict and you've taken her kids from her, gotten her kids from her, or whatever, you come out even admitting yourself that she did this crime. And then to do a 180 and completely and turn around and blame it on other people, blame it on the babysitter, blame it on Danny, blame it on the biological father who hasn't seen the child in forever. It like, are you seriously believing your daughter, or are you in some sort of weird ass fucking denial? I mean, it just doesn't make any sense to me. It really doesn't. So what do you all think? What do you all how do you all feel about this situation and this little new gesture that the family has done. And to justify it, oh, the family just wanted to thank me. You know, I've been a platform for people to hear their voice, for people to hear their side of the story. And they did that because they wanted to thank me. That's how you're going to justify that shit? Really? Are you that fucking delusional? Oh, I know. I totally, I've wondered that myself, True Crime with Sunshine, because I know that's what I'd do to one of my girls. If something happened to my granddaughter, I mean, my oldest daughter, she whipped my ass in a heartbeat. But I'm type to get it. I'm type person that'll pull out a 2x4. I keep a 2x4 handy, as a matter of fact, because I'm a crafter and I love to work with wood. And I go to the truss mill all the time and get scrap wood and make all kinds of cool stuff with it. So I've always got a 2x4 handy. But hell yeah, I'm gonna pick something up and knock you in the damn head with it. My daughter might kick my ass, but I ain't going down without a fight until she tells me what happened to my granddaughter. I'll tell you that much. You know, for those of you that heard my live the other night, I had a complete breakdown. I buried my dog, who was my son of 16 years. He passed away last Tuesday, a week ago today, and I had to bury him. And it has been devastating, and I've just been lost. You know, I still keep looking for him and glancing over at his bed and looking on my bed to see if he's laying there or laying outside, you know, on the big rug in front of my glamper and in front of the fan, you know, chilling. And I just think, you know, of course, he might have been my four-legged son, but these people threw their own flesh and blood in the garbage like trash. Threw him in a nasty old trailer park dumpster. Like last week's leftovers. And it just, all I got to say is Leilani better be glad I ain't her mama. Oh, well, thank you, True Crime with Sunshine. Yeah, it's, you know, I mean, you live with someone's, hell, Smoke outlasted the guy that gave him to me for Valentine's Day. And, you know, I mean, he was my son. I had two girls, and then that was the only two kids I was able to have. And so he was the son I never had. And then my dog Ellie Mae, my little Chihuahua that you see in the intro and that you will also see in my new outro, when the live is over, she's my grand dog. And when my youngest daughter and son-in-law got married, or when she told me that, her and Harley were going to get married and move to Virginia Beach, I said, well, you're not taking Ellie. You can go, but you're not taking Ellie. And she's like, oh, my Lord, Mama, I would never do that to you. I wouldn't take her from you. She's Mimi's girl. She's got her head buried in the pillows. I just don't get it. I just don't, and I hear that there's speculation that Leilani is pregnant again. Like, dear God, somebody crush up some birth control and put it in a baggie and drop it off over there. Thank you so much. It matters. I appreciate that. This has just been a tough 2 weeks, you know, Smoke had been going downhill. He really bad, and I knew the time was coming, and I went to my oldest daughter's house for the weekend because it was my granddaughter's birthday, and spent the weekend. And then when I came home, my friend Michael, who lives here at the park too, he watches the dogs while I'm gone, and when I came home, he's like, Smoke's not doing good. And he passed away that night. He was just, my oldest daughter said, Mama, he was waiting on you to come home, is what he was doing. So it's just been tough. Yeah, I don't know if True Crime with Sunshine, I don't know if this whole she might be pregnant again has anything to do with this Amazon wish list that is being pimped out for them, or if she thinks she's going to get custody of that baby girl back, or what it's all about. I don't know if people that are closer to her, or to the family or whatever, are saying that she is, or people are just speculating it because of that Amazon wish list. I don't know, but God forbid. Tie her freaking tubes. Do not let that bitch leave the hospital without tying her tubes. I don't know what to think about Danny and his parents. I cannot. Yes, I know it. Um, I don't know what to think about him and his parents. You know, I think back to when Anna Nicole Smith passed away, and even though she hated her mother and all that, you know, her mother came to town. Her mother was trying to fight to get custody of Danny Lynn. She fought to get custody of Anna's body and take her back to Texas and all that, which thank God none of that went through, because Danny Lynn is with who she should be with, and that's her daddy, Larry Burkhead. Of course, Virgie Arthur has since passed away, but you know, Anna did not want to go back to Texas. So she's buried there in the Bahamas with her son. But anyway, you know, I think back to that, and I just can't understand how Danny just, I'd have caught a kidnapping charge. I'd have just ran off with my baby, which for last night over on Tattoo Rebels channel, we were going over the custody papers, and there's two sets of papers. There's one where Billie Joe gets custody of the oldest child and Quinton, but nothing is said about the baby's name is not mentioned. But then when they lose custody of, when Billie Joe loses custody of the children, you know, it's the oldest boy and the baby that get taken away, because by this time Danny's done hauled ass. So, but I just cannot imagine that why they didn't hang around, or why they didn't do anything to try and get temporary custody of that baby and get her out of that house, because they had every right to. Danny had just as much right to that baby as Leilani did. So mm-mm. I wouldn't have left my 4-month-old baby in a situation like that. So I just don't quite know what to think about him or his family. And are they going to do anything to try and get custody of the baby? Or is the oldest child's father's family going to do anything to try to get him? But CPS would have to be clearly out of their effing minds to give those kids back. I don't even know how she got custody of them in the first place with the rap sheet she's got. So, you know, it just makes you wonder why they've got all this baby stuff on this Amazon wish list that they're wanting. Do they think they're getting the 4-month-old baby back, or God forbid, is she pregnant again? If she is pregnant again, and Quinton has not been found as of yet, as of that time, and she's doesn't get unnamed, the prime suspect, and if she's sober, you know, are they seriously gonna let her leave the hospital? with another child. Uh, Lord, I guess we'll cross that bridge when we come to it, won't we? That's just crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Speaking of four-legged fur babies, how is Sweet Max? Don't say BK. Don't say BK. Oh yeah, yeah. That poor Bubba. I mean, that's just devastating. Your grandpa gets hit by a car, and your son is killed by his mother or his mother's boyfriend, or I mean, all in the same week. I mean, Jesus Christ, I thought I had bad luck. That's just sad. Terribly sad. Mm. Oh, Lord. So, any of y'all got any gossip or any news to report? Anything I missed? Hey, lots of dots. How are ya? Talking about Billy Jaw's latest shenanigans with her crack whore mouthpiece. Like, how could you even let the family do that? Like, you really think that's appropriate? Like, even okay, let's say let me trade places with her for just a minute. And that was my picture and my channel on that sign. I'd be like, oh dear God, take that down. Please take that down. You know, I don't do this for recognition. I don't do this for money. I don't, I mean, does she think that looks good on her? Yeah, he was hit by a car, Pam. But it was his grandfather. To my knowledge, it was Bubba's grandfather that was hit by a car. Which I haven't been able to look into it. I need to look into it because I'm just wondering if did they catch the person that hit him? Was it a hit and run? Was it a drunk driver, or was it like, did somebody do it deliberately to with intention to kill him, or what? Does anybody know? Because I haven't had a chance to even look into it. I've been so scatterbrained, y'all. I threw the dadgum landlord's mail away. I've been collecting their mail since they've been back in Texas working, and I've been cleaning up and everything, and I guess I wasn't paying attention. I threw their whole bag of mail away. Which had something important in it. I mean, it can be replaced, but still, you know, I'm a very responsible person, but when I've Just been so stressed out lately. It cut me some slack. Yeah. Okay, Bubba Moss's father. It was okay. For some reason I thought it was his grandfather. Maybe they were saying Quinton's grandfather. So I've been running on about 3 cylinders lately. He had a flat tire and was walking home, hit and run. Okay. Well, had they said was okay, so it was a hit and run. See, it took a minute to register what you just said. It was a hit and run, so they don't know if the person was, on drugs or drunk or did it deliberately, to him or what. Well, man, that's maybe they'll look into seeing the car on a street cam or somebody got some kind of description or something. No, they hadn't had anybody. Oh, what, really? That's horrible. That is just mm, so horrible and brutal. Man. Mm-mm-mm. So what else have I missed? Highway 23 in Burke County. That's the place. Yeah. Well, I mean, what I would do is just start from the scene of the crime, and if they know which way the vehicle was traveling, just start searching for some kind of camera, whether it be somebody's doorbell camera or surveillance camera or street camera or business, anything. Of course, you look for evidence on the body and at the scene of, the possible. Do they know how fat? Oh, what? I don't know what to think. Um, I don't really feel comfortable even speaking on it. I still haven't had a chance to look, you know, deeper into what happened, but from just the little bit I know, um, it happened, a long time ago. And the family was Mormon, and there's I know enough about Mormons from the whole Jody Arias and Travis Alexander case um and all that, to know that um the church tries to they're one of the churches that tries to take care of things like that privately. That they're one of the types of religions that thinks, that you can cure that kind of thing with therapy or pray it away or whatever. And it's a personal family issue. It's not like he just, went out and assaulted, you know, so like assaulted someone um randomly, and it would be a case that, we as in the true crime community would be reporting on. Um uh Hang on just a second, let's see. Update in summer. um I saw a video here a while back, True Crime with Sunshine, about some kind of a group that works with satellite imagery. Um, in the Summer Wells case. Depends on second or third. Yeah, yeah. I heard that. Yeah. Yeah. You know, I don't know what to think about the Kylie Rodney case either. I guess if that is the truth that, allows her family to move forward and live with and to believe, then that's what we have to accept, you know. Huh. Yeah. Um, but the deal with AWP, and I think, yes, it's horrible what he did, but I I don't want to, I'm not going to judge the whole entire group of Adventures with Purpose, and I'm not going to judge the great work that they do, and that they have brought closure to so many families who didn't know what happened to their loved ones. um I can't let what one of their members did, you know affect the whole group. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not condoning what he did or anything like that. That's just a situation where I don't think those two paths should be crossed. Now, if Adventures with Purpose feels that they should drop Jared from their team, because they feel that it's, not, that it is going to destroy all the good work that they've done, I think that's what they should do. But I just can't let that, what Jared did, cross over into all the great work that Adventures with Purpose has done. Yeah, I mean, me too. I would, as a mom, would want to know the truth, about what happened to my kid. But I don't know. That's just all. That whole Kylie Rodney thing was just an extremely strange and weird ordeal. And again, we're dealing with small town. We're dealing with, you know, um, they, as it's called, the Truckee Way. They're their own little community, and you know, and besides, I mean, it would take, if her family was not satisfied with the ruling in her case, then they would be the only ones that could, get a second opinion or get the investigation reopened or get her, I think they said she was cremated, but get her exhumed or anything like that. I've watched Olivia Jane Ward's family go through that. I've watched Linda Ives and uh, Curtis Henry go through that with Kevin and Don. And it's not an easy thing to get done. So while, we can all feel like, there's more to it, or there's more, or we don't believe, the ruling, there's really not much we can do about it. So they can't drop Jared because it's his business. Can do their own thing. Plenty. Oh yeah, that is true. That is true. And I've seen a couple of videos come out. I just haven't had a chance to watch them. Of people speaking on Josh Cantu has put out a video, and it seems like I saw another video by someone that was put out. But like I said, I haven't had a chance to watch them or anything, or really, even look too far into the case of what happened. I just, know the Reader's Digest version of what allegedly happened. So, Doug Chaos Divers. Oh, let's put up video. Okay, all right. Well, Steph, I'll look around and try to watch those videos and stuff. And I was hoping that they came to Little Rock, and I didn't know it, but they came here. They had 6 targets, and when they got here, the Little Rock, a couple of detectives from the Little Rock Police Department found out they were here and approached them with another case with 2 missing people that they believed were together. And trigger warning, they did find one of the women's legs, and that's all they've ever found. So they wanted them to help to look for that car. And I was actually hoping that they would come back because the case that they were asked to look for the car of these two missing women they believe were together. I have another place in mind for them to search, and it was something that, I mean, you would have to be from here and know that area of the Arkansas River and stuff, but there was something about it all that once I looked into the case after I watched the video, I was like, oh, okay, wait a minute. I think maybe they ought to look here in this spot um, along the Arkansas River. And I was going to maybe, try to get in touch with them and see if they were going to come back and tell them about that particular area. But I don't even know how to get a hold of them. They don't have like a posted phone number or anything like that to get in touch with them. And I couldn't even never find an email address. But now with all this going on, the whole team may disband, and who knows? But I mean, I don't, yeah, support AWP. Exactly, Steph. I don't see any reason not to continue to support them. It's not, that like I said, even if they stay together, that is something for the courts are going to have to deal with. That's some, um, I just can't, let it take away from all the good things that group has done. And then, like I said, if they all leave him and start their own group, then I'll support them. Oh, that is their email. Oh, okay. Well, we'll see what happens over the next few weeks and see what comes together. Because I mean, as busy as they are, who knows when they would. Chaos divers would like to have tips. Okay. Um, if they decide to come back and do another search, but I know they've been, really busy with, seems like they got a different case every week, you know, um, to get to. So who knows when they'll have a chance to, circle back around. You don't think AWP will after today? Well, you're probably right. But I mean, if the other guys choose to go their separate ways from Jared, then I will totally support those guys. Um, yeah, if they want to regroup and change their name or whatever, but a lot of sick-minded people out here. A lot of sick-minded people. I just don't get it. I really don't. But anyway, everyone, I'm going to get some rest. I'm pretty beat. Like I said, that all that numbing medication and stuff wears off after that nerve burning, and I mean, I feel like I've been kicked in the back by a mule. So, and here in about another hour, they'll be releasing this week's episode of The Handmaid's Tale. So I'm gonna try and stay awake to watch it. If not, I'll watch it tomorrow. But I tell you, I'm left on the edge of my seat with so much damn anxiety between that show and this case of Quinton Simon and his crazy family. I'm just, got too much damn anxiety. Got too much damn anxiety. He's in it just. Oh, okay. Yeah. So, do any of y'all watch The Handmaid's Tale? I mean, you kind of got to have a stomach to watch it. It's better, though. Unlike watching them first few seasons, that was so brutal, you know. Well, thank you so much, Pam. I appreciate that. But do any no none of y'all watch The Handmaid's Tale? Lord, it's just they said this was going to be the most explosive season yet, and by golly, it has been. Because I'm like, I just when I think things are going to go one way, they go the other way, and it's just crazy, 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 crazy. Crazy is this case. But anyway, I am so glad all of y'all. I'm sure if Matt ever got to watch, he would be into it. You can't. Those first, it's a really, really good show. It really is. But it is hard to watch those first few seasons because of you know, it's very brutal. It's very brutal what they do to, you know, not just the ceremony and all that, and that they make the handmaids do, but just hanging people on the wall and sending them to the colonies, and just, it's like I said, it's pretty brutal. But this season, Commander Lawrence, who has taken over everything, he's trying to change Gilead completely around for the better. So, but anyway, I want to thank everybody for coming in tonight. Steph, Pam, lots of dots. And everyone that has whoops. Everyone that has been here with me tonight. Thanks for listening, and be sure and hit that subscribe button and hit the like button and help me get into the algorithm, and hopefully get my channel to grow. I've kind of decided now that I actually like having a smaller channel because I don't have to deal with, a lot of hate and trolling and all that kind of good stuff. But still, I mean, everybody wants to be successful, even if I don't make any money or anything like that. I still want to, be a successful channel and everything. So, but you all have a wonderful night, and please, everyone, remember to be the change that you wish to see in this world. As Michael Jackson said, it starts with the man in the mirror. Peace out, everybody.
From the Rudy Pearl Glamper True Crime Podcast. If you love all things true crime, then please hit the subscribe button down below and don't forget to hit that notification bell. And please give us a thumbs up because you're all invited back next week to this locality.